What is up, guys? In this video we're going to be doing the game over animation. So to start, let's jump into our CC Hero class. This is going to be kind of similar to what we were doing with the other animations with a little twist. So let's go down to our attack function just under there. We're going to call this function, let's just call it die. That just makes it straight up very obvious. So in this animation, we're going to have the hero basically have him fall over, and we're also going to launch him backwards and have him affected by gravity, so he kind of goes in this arc and then falls back down. So the first thing we need to do is we need to enable gravity again on our physics body. So we're going to say affected by gravity equals true. And then we are also going to call this method called apply impulse. So this is a pretty fun method you can mess around with. Basically, it just lets you launch physics bodies and objects kind of anywhere on the screen. So we're going to say apply impulse. The parameter it takes is a CG vector. Now, if you haven't worked with vectors before, I'll give a quick explanation as soon as I put this in here. But we're going to do, to make a vector, we do CG vector make. And the vector we're going to make is going to be a -10 for the dx and 50 for the dy. So for a quick explanation of that, I'm just going to pull this over here. All a vector is basically an arrow. So our vector here is going to be something like this. We have our -10 here. And we also have our +50 here. So the vector that this is going to make is going to be this diagonal line between these guys. So it's going to apply the impulse in this direction. And depending on how big or small the number is, that's how strong it's going to apply that impulse. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. After we have this impulse applied, we want to do the dead animation. Animate dead is what we're going to call it. Seems kind of morbid for a little ninja game, but it's going to work. So I don't think we have our dead animation actually added to our scene, to our project. So really quick, I'll have the dead atlas attached to this video. So just drag that here into your project. Make sure you're not accidentally putting it in any other folders, and just add it just like that. Cool. So now let's implement this animate dead function. Let's scroll down just under animate attack. I'm going to say animate dead. And we're going to remove all actions like in the other functions we did for animation. We are going to grab the frames from the dead atlas. And we are also going to, we're going to run this now. So we're going to say run action, skaction.animate with textures. So we're going to use the frames we just made with a time interval of 0.05. And it looks like I grabbed the wrong constructor, but we can just write it out. So times per frame, 0.05. Resize is going to be true because the animation has the sprite turning horizontal, so we don't want it to get squished inside that box. And restore is going to be false, because basically we just, if the hero is still on the screen when he's done with the animation, we don't want him to restore back to his original kind of running texture. So after, the one thing we have to do after this is we have to set the texture of our hero. We're just going to set it to the last frame of the dead animation. So that's dead 009. So we're going to say texture equals skTexture with the image named dead underscore underscore. Remember to do that twice. 009. So the reason we do that is when this animation is finished, basically it's going to return back to its original sprite or texture that it is currently has, and we want that texture to be the last frame of that, so he's falling off just like he's laying down. Cool. So let's test this guy out. Let's go into our game scene. Let's go into our tapped function here. Let's just comment out all of this functionality right now. And let's just put in hero.die. We can test this out. All right, as soon as this gets up and running, we will tap. And awesome. I mean, that looked pretty good to me. The hero just fell over and got launched backwards. You guys can mess with that CG vector if you want to launch him more vertical, more sideways, whatever you want. It's really like a lot of fun to mess around with. So in the next video, we'll actually be combining this animation with our collision detection.